Hi, and welcome to the Lone Star Play podcast, where we sit, eat, chat, and repeat. I'm your host, Patrick Scott Armstrong, and we are coming to you from Austin, Texas. The Lone Star Play podcast is produced by Texas Real Food. Go to texasrealfood.com, and you can search your city for local restaurants, stores, butchers, farmers markets, and more who are using organic, fresh, artisanal, and local sources. It's a fun site that brings all natural options all together.
Yeah, that was my first series regular role that I booked. And it was just amazing. You know, everybody was like, oh my God, what was it like working with John Stamos?
Totally.
And, you know, I'm like, John is a sweetheart. Like, he really is. He's very kind. He'll still text me on my birthday just to say happy birthday. You know, it was just the entire cast, from Paget Brewster, Josh Peck, Ravi Patel, Christina Milian, everybody was simply amazing. So we were all very bummed when it got canceled.
Absolutely. It was ridiculous. I mean, just completely ridiculous. Yeah, the whole cast was just amazing. It was a great show. We were like, sure.
John Stamos and babies? Come on.
What?
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm fine. Please forgive me for the last situation. I truly and sincerely apologize. I completely freaked out. Like, it was just a really tough day, and I think I was talking to a girlfriend about something on the phone, and in the middle of the conversation, I was like, oh my God, I forgot that I was supposed to do a podcast today. Like, it was just, I was devastated.
Please don't be devastated. It's fine. It's really,
Yeah.
it's no problem at all. I appreciate you saying that. Please.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had those moments, trust me, especially during the pandemic. You just get so comfortable, in your pajamas, right? Sipping on some tea. Next thing you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, I actually, I had surgery done on my
gosh.
arm. Yeah, I had a pinched nerve, and so it was really affecting my hand. And I think I had a doctor's appointment that day where they took like the cast off, and then I came home, and he was like, stretch it out, and I did, but I did too much, and it took me out.
I can't, girl. Yeah, of course. The podcast last thing be on my mind. Be like, what the hell? My arm is a sling. I can't.
So that was fun. That was
fun. So that was fun. Oh gosh. Yeah. Well, I'm so sorry to hear that. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Healing with that, of course.
Thank you.
Gosh, look, this is crazy. I watched your latest movie on Netflix. Netflix. Gosh, I get these all wrong. Oh my God.
All errors and mistakes are forgiven during the pandemic. I blame everything on COVID-19. That's
Me
it.
Too.
Yeah.
Me too. That's hilarious. Yes, Netflix. Yes. I feel like it is kind of a verb. You get Netflixed, though. I think
Yes.
But phenomenal movie. My gosh.
Thank you.
I don't even know where to begin. I was, just blown away. It was an unbelievable movie. Of course, Jeffrey Wright is.
Oh God, Jeffrey Wright. Jeffrey Wright is Jeffrey Wright.
Is Jeffrey Wright, and the other guy, Ashton
Sanders.
That guy,
incredible.
He is unbelievable in everything I've seen him in. Like, my goodness,
he is phenomenal, and it was just an honor to be a part of the film. You know, Jeffrey Wright is by far one of my favorite actors of all time.
Oh, wow.
And to get to work alongside him so intimately it was a dream come true.
He was literally
our noses were like
this. Yeah. I mean, that is intimate. Yeah. I remember seeing that scene thinking, holy cow, how do you even rehearse that? Like, is that something you just think, okay, let's save this for the moment?
You know, it was amazing. Joe Robert Cole, the writer and director of All Day and a Night, who is also the co-writer of Black Panther, I loved working with him as a director. He is such an actor's director. And we did it wasn't so much rehearsing things, but we did talk through things. And we, of course, had a stunt coordinator on set, because anytime you're doing something where it could potentially get physical, you have someone on set. So we did kind of walk through what it was that we were going to do. And we were all kind of on the same page, myself, Jeffrey, Joe, that we did not want to make it seem like Jeffrey's character, JD, was the abuser. Like, this was a toxic relationship between the both of us. So I was just as responsible for the the brokenness in our relationship as he was. And so we wanted to make sure we showed both sides of that. And so just kind of talking through it, you know, that little finger push, that's going to set any man off. Like,
I mean,
it's so disrespectful. Yeah. It's so disrespectful. It's so disrespectful.
It's such a great scene. The tension is just like, I mean, it's just floating. You just feel it just floating, that, you know, that something's going to happen. Yeah. It's, wow. That's so great to hear, how you guys prepared for that particular scene. Was that pretty much the whole movie then? It was basically that sort of setup where we're just going to talk about it, really just sort of understand where everybody's coming from, and then we'll just go for it. Sounds very much like theater in some ways.
Yeah. Kind of a lot like theater, actually, you know, where each scene, it's just the director, Joe, would say, all right, let's talk through it. What are you feeling? What are your ideas? And this film just helped me to grow in my confidence as an actor. Regina Taylor was another amazing actor in the piece. And there was a scene where we were at my son's school. He was not doing very well. And, you know, per the usual, Joe was asking us to talk about it. And he asked if we had any questions. And I'm like, I'm still very timid and shy and like, I don't want to say anything. And Regina was like, yes, I do have some questions. And she was like going down the questions that she had. And that gave me the confidence to say, you know what, I do actually have a question. In the scene, the teacher was talking to me about my son. And I was like, I don't feel like Delonda would sit here and listen to her say these things. So because it was written as if we had this dialogue, and I stayed there and I said, I just don't feel like she would stay there. And Joe said, well, let's try it when we, you know, do this rehearsal, you know, with camera, trying to get the camera set up. And so we did it. And afterwards he came to me, said, you were right. And we're going to keep it like that. We're not going to do it as it was written. So that was just like a boost of confidence for me as an actor to speak up, because we sit with these characters, and we get to know them in a way that maybe the writers didn't even imagine. And so it was just a beautiful moment.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you're actually living and breathing them, right? And you're getting to. Yeah, 100%. That makes absolute sense. Well, that's amazing that he allowed that sort of freedom, give y'all sort of your creativity. Great. Yeah, that's amazing. And yes, of course. I mean, you're phenomenal in the film. I mean, absolutely blown away. Just like, I mean, my goodness. Yes, it's like I said, it's crazy talking to you right now, because I'm imagining that film right now. And I'm just thinking, wow, you're so intense. Your face was so intense in the film. And I could read so much from you just from your face. I just thought you could have not spoken a whole word that whole movie, I feel like, and you could have given your whole performance the same way. I think that says a lot about you. Yeah, I loved it. It was just, and it's a powerful movie.
It's such a powerful film.
Right? Yeah, and that's gonna be cool.
What's crazy is I am nothing like Delonda. Like, I don't curse in my real life, and so I had to kind of warn my mom, who watches everything that I do multiple times, and I was like, so I just want to let you know, there's a lot of cursing, and when I mean a lot, I mean like every other word that I say, cursing. And even my friends are like, oh my God, like you for somebody that doesn't cuss, you sound real good.
Yeah, you're good at it. You're good at it. I love it. That is crazy. Yeah, because well, I mean, these are probably performances you want to probably play people that aren't like you, right? Those are probably the most
Absolutely.
exciting parts
Hmm.
to play. Yeah. Look, another great performance I saw, it was Grandfathered. Obviously, great show.
Thank you. Yeah.
My goodness, I remember that show. I watched it when they canceled it. I thought, what are they thinking?
I
I thought, what?
know.
That's why I thought about that and The Grinder that same
Yeah, I
year.
know.
I thought, what are they doing? Those shows are great. Why did they get rid of those? You were so funny on that show. Like,
Thank
it's a
you.
kitchen. I'm a chef, so I'm from the restaurant industry. So
Okay.
seeing a restaurant, seeing how that all, I just loved it. All right, I'm in anything that's got a restaurant.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm in it, and the way I just thought it was great. I thought it was, yeah, absolutely,
Yeah, that was
wonderful.
my first series regular role that I booked. And it was just amazing. Everybody was like, oh my God, what was it like working with John Stamos?
Totally,
And,
totally.
I'm like, John is a sweetheart. Like, he really is. He's very kind. He'll still text me on my birthday just to say happy birthday. It was just the entire cast, from Paget Brewster, Josh Peck, Ravi Patel, Christina Milian, everybody was simply amazing. So we were all very bummed when it got canceled.
Absolutely, it was ridiculous. I mean, just completely ridiculous. Yeah, the whole cast was just amazing. It was a great show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
for
were like,
sure.
John Stamos and babies? Come
What?
on. It's
John Stamos and
a
baby,
no-brainer.
this is a no-brainer. Yeah, it was a great. Yeah, gosh, yeah, that's exactly. Look, I'm not alone. You're not alone. That's what a lot of people thought.
Yeah.
I don't understand the industry from and I'm from the outside, so I can't even imagine yourself.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, I don't know if you can hear my dogs. My
I
dogs are
can.
absolutely going crazy. My wife just got home from work, so
Okay.
they're
Like, mama's
literally,
home.
they're smothering her. If we go out for the
Yeah.
mail and we come back in, it's like, where have you been? And I'm
Right.
like, I got the mail. I literally, the door didn't even shut all the way. But
Yeah.
anyhow, anyway, I'm sorry.
No, it's
So
fine.
yes, yeah, great show, and also The Handmaid's Tale. I saw, you got
Mm,
obviously nominated for an Emmy. That
yeah.
must have felt like
Like,
amazing.
what?
Yeah,
I was speechless. I was speechless when I saw my name on the list with
is that how it
all of
comes? Like, is that
those.
how you find out? You just
So they do a certain amount of categories, mostly like your lead actors, actresses, supporting, shows. They do like kind of the bigger categories, and then you have to go online for the other categories. And I was like, oh, I'll just go online just to see. And so I go online and I'm scrolling, and then I see like Dame Judy, no, Cherry Jones. Yeah, Dame Judy. I think that was her name. I can't remember. Cherry Jones, Cicely Tyson, Viola Davis, Samira Wiley, Kelly Jenrette. And I was like, that's me. And I just kept saying, no, no, no. What is that? Oh my God. And my husband called and he was like, babe, you're an Emmy nominated actress. And I was like, I know. And he was also up for, Emmy contention that same year as well. And I was like, do you know if you got nominated? He said he didn't. So I went online and in his category, and I was like, oh my God, you're nominated too. So it was just, just us both being nominated
oh
together. And it
wow.
turns out we are the first African American married couple to be nominated in the same year. So it was 2018 was filled with extremely high highs and really low lows, but that was definitely the high point of 2018.
Wow, that's great that your husband got nominated as well. You guys were able to celebrate together, and yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Wow, I mean,
Hmm.
well deserved. It's an amazing, performance on the show.
Thank you.
And to have such an impact on, you go in for one episode, right, and to feel like
Yeah.
you have that sort of impact. You know, obviously Was that something that sort of set up ahead of time? Like, okay, we're going to get you on the show and we're going to try to do something with this. Or was it just after the
No.
fact? Like, man, you gave
Yeah.
such an amazing performance. It's like,
It was after the fact. I got it, and when I got the audition, I think I had only watched the pilot episode of The Handmaid's Tale, and at the end when they were like beating that guy, I was like, nope, this show is not for me. and and then the audition came in, and I was like, okay, all right, let's just go for it. And then I booked it, and I was like, so maybe I should watch all of these episodes. And I think it was just an amazing opportunity to be on one of the most popular shows at that time, which was kind of scary because people were like, I don't want to watch that because I feel like I see that on the news every day.
yeah,
And
totally.
it was a lot. And so when it came time to submit for the Emmy, people were like, yeah, it's an amazing show. Like, what could it hurt? Just to kind of get your name out there. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And then it came, and I was like, oh wow, it was a humbling experience for me, and just a beautiful reminder that it doesn't matter what you have or what you're given. It matters what you do with what you're given. And it was 2 scenes, 3 scenes, all of less than 5 minutes. But it's like, what are you going to do with what you are given? And it was just like, do your job.
Yeah.
That's it.
Wow, that's powerful. That's
Yeah.
definitely powerful, for an actor, especially to hear, probably an up and coming actor, right? Just thinking, oh well, I
Hmm.
just got this line in this, no big deal. I'm here day
Yeah.
in, in one day, out another. But you're right. You showed what you could do with that particular moment. Wow, that's
Yeah.
powerful.
Thank
Have
you.
what about any other shows? Have you felt that moment? Maybe you didn't get nominated, right? But I know that's more of an internal. You have your own sort of internal judgment going on, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what other shows were like that for you, where you left and you just thought, wow, I crushed that. Like that was,
It's so hard for actors to be like, yeah, good job. It's always like, it takes me a couple of watches before I'm
yeah.
like, all right, good. Because when I first watch it, the show that comes to mind is Limetown on
Okay.
Facebook Watch that I did with Jessica Biel. And I remember when I first saw it, it was like, you shouldn't have made that choice, or no, I can tell you weren't really listening. And going back and watching it was like, all right, Kelly, you did your thing. You did. You can pat yourself on the back just twice, 2 pats. That's it. On to the next kind of thing.
I mean, you killed it in that too.
Thank you.
I watched some of that too. Yeah, you killed it in that too. It's got to be so. I just can't imagine, that life of trying to just inhabit somebody that you're not.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is for sure challenging, but that's our job,
Yeah.
And so even like with the role of Delonda, I remember getting the audition, and I judged her, just how she talked to her son, the choices that she made, because she was so different. And, I grew up in a middle class family where when we woke up in the morning, we said good morning. We said please and thank you. We didn't curse. Like, I think I recall hearing my dad curse one time my entire childhood growing
Wow.
up, so just to see this woman, and then I had to take a step back and say, but this is her life, and understand her experiences that brought her to this point. And it's a very freeing thing to be able to say, all right, Kelly, I'm going to sit you over here. Now let's allow Delonda, her essence, her spirit, her energy, to just speak the truth of what she's going through. So I love it.
Yeah. No. Okay. That's a great way to put it, as far as just an escape, right? Escape, a vacation from just
Hmm.
yourself for a little bit, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
gosh, I bet normal day people would love to be able to do something like, but they're not good at that, right? We're not good at stuff like that. we can't pretend to be anything other than ourselves, you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think it's just sometimes it's fear that kind of holds us back. That fear of
sure.
judgment, like what are people going to
100%.
think if I do this? And when people
Yeah.
can just let go, you would be surprised. Like you can soar, man. You can soar.
Where did that happen for you? When did that happen for you? Or have you
Ooh,
always been that way?
Leave it up to my mom. She would probably say I've always been that way. I remember there was a cassette tape that I have from when I was maybe 8 years old, and it was a radio station that I created. Growing up in Atlanta, the popular radio station was V103. So my radio station was V105. And I was the DJ, I was the performers, I was the comedian, like every single role. I interviewed myself, and so I feel like it was kind of something that I always did, that I always enjoyed doing. And also people are like, well, growing up before my mom remarried, I was the middle child. And so, it's kind of like you're not the firstborn, and then you're not the baby. So it's like kind of trying to figure out where you fit in. And so I just kind of entertained myself. And so I feel like it was something that was just kind of always there in me. And then just over time, I got to a point where I allowed myself to let go even more with each role that I had. And I'm still experiencing that now.
Oh, absolutely. I can't imagine. I would just imagine that just with each role, right? You learn a new technique, a new
Mhm.
way, a new more way to get comfortable. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Another role I saw that I loved, and I bring it up again because I'm in the restaurant industry, and even I studied wine for a long time too. And you were in a great movie um, called Uncorked, right? With
Yeah.
about wine and a
Mhm.
barbecue, and it was everything I love put
Yeah.
together, you know, into one thing. And I even worked briefly at a great barbecue place here in Austin for Aaron Franklin,
Okay.
um, who's famously, one of the best barbecuers in the world.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, do you know who Aaron Franklin is?
I'm
Have you
not
heard of him?
familiar.
Have you seen
Mm-mm.
the movie Chef with John Favreau? Have you seen that movie,
Nope.
Chef? Okay, you got to watch that
Mm-mm.
movie. John
Okay.
Leguizamo, John Favreau. It's called Chef.
Okay.
You'll love it. Aaron
It sounds
Franklin's in it.
familiar. It sounds
Yeah,
familiar. And
he
you know
starts
what
a
I'm like?
food truck.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. This
anyway,
it came out a couple of years ago, right?
yeah, yep.
Okay.
Anyway, he's in that movie. Like they go visit him for like barbecue expert. Anyway,
Okay.
yeah. So seeing that show was like, okay, all this great barbecue wine, like. Is that yeah? And you got the restaurant and grandfather. Are you attracted to this whole industry? Do you think is that what's keeps bringing you back to that?
I can cook. Like,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, now listen, I'm no Aaron. I'm, but I can hold my own in the kitchen, but I do not like to cook. I just the only time that I'm like, yeah, let me get in the kitchen is like Thanksgiving or Christmas or my
Yeah.
husband's birthday,
Yeah.
where like there's a meaning behind it, but just, cooking because it's Tuesday, nah, not not really interested in that, because even in Grandfather, my character Annalise, like she was the manager,
Exactly.
and
Yes.
then even
Yes.
in Uncorked, my character Brenda, she couldn't cook.
Yeah.
So, it's like low key kind of where I am, even though I can cook, but just to be able to like, yeah, let me manage the kitchen kind of thing. So I think that's more where I reside.
Does your husband, does he like to cook? Does he?
Oh my God. He loves to cook. In fact, he just made like a seafood pizza before this call, and he has like a binder called Melvin's Cookbook. So he loves to cook, but I think he got that from his father, who also really enjoyed cooking as well. So it was great, that he loves to cook so that
Yeah.
we can eat. You know?
Absolutely. Somebody's got to cook in the house. I mean, I know
Yeah.
people can order out and eat out all the time, but there's something about cooking at home
Mm-hmm.
that is special. I don't know why I like cooking. I just do. I don't, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure why I like it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Now you got me questioning it. I don't even know why. I
Don't
think
question it.
I don't know.
Don't even. Just
I think it's the
continue to keep
joy
cooking.
of somebody eating it and they
Mm.
make a good face or a good
Yeah. Yeah.
like this whole like, oh my God. That's pretty addictive feeling that I get from them. And that will make me want to do 10 hours of hard labor just for that one. I mean, it's
That
kind of
makes
ridiculous.
sense.
It's
No,
kind
that
of
makes
weird.
sense. That makes sense. That because I think that's how it is for me for Thanksgiving and Christmas. I always make the dressing.
Yeah.
And people are always like, "Oh my God, this dressing is amazing," you know. And so it is that thing of being able to bring joy to people.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful feeling. So I totally get that.
Yeah.
I
That's
get it.
great. Yeah, the dressing. I love it. I
Yes.
love it.
That's my thing. Like
I love
y'all can
it.
make everything else.
Yeah. I
I'm
got the
making the
dressing.
dressing.
I got the dressing. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's the one time a year I don't cook. See, I don't cook
Wow.
on those days, holidays and stuff, because I cook all the time. The
I
rest
get
of the
it.
time. So when it's that time of year, somebody else better be
Nope, that
cooking,
makes sense. And I think
right?
that's why I'm like, all right, I'll do it
Yeah,
because
exactly.
the other 363 days, I'm like, yeah, I mean, you know, and I will cook. Like I do cook
Sure, of
other
course.
times, but you know, I'm always game for Thanksgiving and Christmas and birthdays.
Do you have a special diet you follow, or do you just sort of go with anything? Do you try different stuff? Are you pretty adventurous? You know.
I am vegan adjacent, is what I
Okay.
like to call it.
Interesting.
So
That's a new one.
yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
That's a new one.
Vegan adjacent. So I will still eat like fish and shrimp. Um, I haven't had beef or pork in I don't know how long, which was kind of challenging when we were shooting Uncorked in Memphis. And you know, they're on the grill and they're
Yeah.
throwing them ribs around and slapping that
Oh.
barbecue sauce. It was like, ooh, maybe I could try, but it was like that it would be my luck that I would try it. And then my stomach is like, we haven't had this in 5, 6, 7, 10 years. What are you doing? And then I got to hold up production. So you know, yeah. So vegan adjacent is what I like to
Yes,
say.
I
Yeah,
like that vegan adjacent. I might start using that.
yeah.
I think I like that. Yeah, it's a funny thing to talk about labels on food because I think most people don't really fall into any particular category. I
Mhm.
think if you looked at it per meal, you could
Yeah,
define yourself because if you think about it, it's not like you eat a steak or let's say you eat meat, right? Let's say it's not like you eat meat every single meal,
exactly.
just a big cut of meat. So half of people's meals anyways are vegan or vegetarian, to be honest with you,
I heard someone
already.
refer to themselves as a flexitarian. So
Interesting. I like that
yeah,
too.
you're like I
Flexitarian.
eat a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. I was like, I like it, flexitarian. You know,
Flexitarian.
we'll come up with some creative names. So
Totally.
I
These
was
are
like, I
new.
can dig it.
And I'm in the industry. I never heard these before. These are all new.
Really,
My chef friends are going to get a kick out of these. Flexitarian, guys.
a
You're never going to believe what I
flexitarian.
heard. A
Hmm.
flexitarian. A little
Yeah,
bit of
a
this. I love it. I love
little
it
bit of
though. That
this,
makes
a little bit of
sense.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a perfect way to I lived in Europe for like 3 years. That's how I met my wife. She's from Spain,
Okay.
and I just really enjoyed the way they ate over there. I just,
Mm.
grew up in Texas and lived in Texas for the most part of my life. And I just thought, wow, this is great. Just a whole new way to look at food. Have you ever lived anywhere that was that sort of jarring where it just completely changed how you looked at food?
No, you know, I have not had the opportunity to travel as much as I would like to, or really live anywhere else. The only places that I have lived for an extended period of time, like born and raised in Atlanta, grew up there. spent some time in upstate New York, which was brutally cold. I don't know why people do that to themselves.
I agree.
And then out here in California, we did have, my husband and I did go to Jamaica for about a week in last November. And, we got to eat different cuisines that they had. They had this curry goat out there, which was absolutely delicious. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try it. And it was amazing. I did feel a little bad because, we would drive along the street and we would see these baby goats, just kind of tied up. And I'm like, did I eat your mama? I'm sorry. Am I going to eat you later on tonight? I don't know. So that, if there's always that, but it was absolutely delicious. And I'm, for the most part, I'm down to try different things. We talked about going to Africa. I mean, we've been, before COVID made its world premiere, we were talking about going to different places. Like, I've always wanted to go to Africa and Europe. All of that is now kind of on hold, but I definitely want to venture out. I had some friends go to Italy, and they were like, "You don't know nothing. Like, coming back to the States, we don't know nothing about Italian food." And I was like, "Oh, I can't wait to go and experience these real things that that we think are so amazing here, but we go to those places and we're like, oh, this is what spaghetti is supposed to taste like."
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Papa John's is not real. Right, like he's not a real papa over there. He's
no.
Yeah, it's
probably
it's
like
different.
A peasant.
Yes.
Peasant John.
Yeah, Peasant John's. Yeah, it's a whole different thing over there. Yeah, but you're right. It is. It's a whole different experience. Yeah, and it is. It's what, for me, what it was is the lifestyle. It was just people's attitudes. It was just like, well, and just from America is just very like, I don't know, just go, open 24 hours, neon lights.
Right.
That's America. And over there, it's just like, I mean, we would literally, the whole country would the whole country would sleep for 2 hours a day.
Wow.
It was like, take a siesta. It was like part of, it just was weird. I mean, I worked and it was like, okay, time to stop. Everything's stopping. All the stores close.
Right.
Everything closes.
Like, wait,
everyone.
What does that mean?
It's like, no, everybody goes home and takes a nap. I was like, what do you mean? This is like very Stepford Wives. Like, am I going to get drugged? I don't.
Right. Like, what's happening?
Am I going to remember these 2 hours? Is this?
Wow.
But that was just the norm. It became the norm, and I don't know. There's just little things like that. So I absolutely recommend getting out. I think it opens people's perspective.
Yeah.
On things. My mom is from Mexico City, so I grew up going back and forth between Mexico and Texas. Just summers, vacations, whatever, that sort of thing. And having that experience was nothing I knew till I was older. Right, I didn't realize it till I got older. But definitely getting around and getting to see how other people live gives you a whole new perspective on your own life. Really,
I'm sure.
It really, really does. I can't imagine from an acting.
What's your favorite dish to cook?
Ooh, that's a good question. My favorite dish to cook would be tacos, pork tacos, pulled pork tacos.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would do because I get a big, what they call Boston butt. That's what it's called. And I will just slow roast that thing in the oven.
Yeah.
250 for like 8-10 hours. Just pulls apart. Great little sauce. Got some pineapple in there. That's the main pull of that dish.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I'm talking about it, I'm just getting mouthwatered.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll make some fresh tortillas, just fresh handmade tortillas.
Oh, nice.
Keep it simple. Yeah, food to me is all. That's what I've learned through the years. Cooking is it becomes simplicity. It's like when you start out, you're trying to just throw all these flavors in and let me just show everybody what I can do and blah blah blah. But then as you get better, you start to realize, okay, I need to pull back a little bit more. And it's about highlighting things a little bit better and
Yeah.
putting the focus towards different things, right? When I slide you a dish, there's something I want you to focus on in particular, not just pick up the burger and eat it. It's like there's something behind it. And I
Yeah.
can only imagine maybe for acting, it might be the same way. When you start acting, and as you get better, you maybe just know you just know what
Right.
to give and what not to give, right?
Yeah.
Sort
What
of
is
same
the,
thing.
it's KISS, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And so
Oh, I
it's
never
like,
heard that. I love that. Keep it
Patrick,
simple,
okay, great.
stupid.
Yeah, it's like just kiss it, because you think like, oh, well, I'm really gonna give it to him now and it's like, just kiss it. Keep it simple, stupid. You're adding all of this other stuff on top of it, and that's not even how you are in real life. So it's like, just communicate. I remember I went to this screening of Fences, and Denzel Washington was on a panel, and he was
Great
just
movie.
talking. Yes. And he was talking about just telling the truth of the character, no matter what medium, if it's theater, if it's film, television, you have to just tell the truth, period. That should be your main focus. And so that's what I have tried to take with me, is just, no matter whether it's comedy, drama, film, TV, stage, tell the truth of the character, and that's it. That's my job.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you said, keep it simple, stupid. I love
Keep it
that.
simple, stupid.
Oh my gosh. That would work so perfectly in a kitchen because that's
Yeah.
how people talk to each other in kitchens. Just,
Yeah.
you asshole, you idiot.
Right.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, just
That's
kiss it.
perfect. Just
Just
kiss
kiss it.
it. Just kiss it.
That's it.
Gosh, that's so
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
What other, I'm sure this pandemic has been absolutely, obviously you can see from the news how it affects the restaurant industry and the service industry. And they
Yeah.
talk about that a lot, but it's obviously affecting the entertainment industry as well. Productions are halted, things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
What, I don't know what you want to talk about or what you can are allowed to talk about as far as that goes.
Yeah. It's so tricky. It's like you said, things have halted, and then with them opening things up and everybody kind of like, oh, great. And
Yeah.
then, it was like our numbers in Los Angeles County alone, we are over 140,000 cases just in Los Angeles, not the whole of California, just Los Angeles County, 140,000 cases. And so, the governor is now kind of shutting things back down again. And the industry, the different unions are trying to put things in place. But it's going to be really expensive, trying to get people tested, make sure. There are just so many unknowns right now. But I feel like auditions are kind of starting to open up again, but it's still that thing of like, we don't know. I could test positive on Tuesday, and unless I am self quarantining, I could go out on Wednesday and get something. And so it's just, how will these networks and studios regulate these things? I know that Tyler Perry was, in Atlanta, he has this base, and he was telling people it's kind of like camp. You come on the base, you don't leave until we finish shooting. I don't know how that's working out, or how realistic that would be out here to
Yeah.
try and do. So there are just so many unknowns right now. I am working on my own play. I'm a part of a theater collective, Black Rebirth Collective, and I was commissioned to write a piece about Dr. Betty Shabazz and Coretta Scott King. I haven't been able to work on that lately because of what's been going on with my arm, but I think, it's just an opportunity to start kind of creating and writing your own things. I took a masterclass workshop with Marcus Gardley, who is a phenomenal writer. And so it's just like, now's the time to just kind of educate yourself and sharpen your skills and get new skills until we figure out what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's every day is new information, like you said,
Hmm.
opening. Not, I'm in Texas, so we're sort of in the same situation.
Yeah.
Sort of a hot spots. Austin, which is in Travis County, um, has nowhere near the cases that Los Angeles has. So I can't even
Yeah.
imagine where you're at, how scary that is. To be honest with you, that would frighten me. I'm frightened
Yeah.
here by it. To be honest with you, I don't really go out at
Yeah.
all. But I don't
Hmm.
have to. I'm thankful I don't have to, and that's what I feel bad the most about is just I have a lot of friends that own businesses here, food
Yeah.
trucks, restaurants, that sort of thing, and they all have to go to work. They all have to
Make a living.
make a living, yep, and pay
Yeah.
other people and get them to work, and that's their stress. I closed my business here in Austin last March, right after South by was my last event, and all
Okay.
I could think is thank God, because if I was still had it this year, I would be. I don't even want to think about it. I just can't even
Yeah.
imagine the stress.
No, it's
That
heartbreaking.
right?
It's
It really is.
heartbreaking.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. And the same for your industry. There's a lot of crews just not working. They
Yeah.
can't. They can't do anything. I just
Yeah.
yeah
It affects
stinks.
a whole lot of people, that you don't even necessarily think about. And my hope is that when the dust settles, there will just be more gratitude going around for everyone,
Yeah.
to understand, like, we can't do this without you. Actors, we can't do it without the hair and makeup team. We can't do it without the gaffers or the lighting crew, or we can't do it. We need everybody. So I'm hopeful that this will create a sense of gratitude all around for everyone, in every profession. I think about the people who are on the front lines, the nurses, the doctors,
Yeah.
all of those things. Like, my God, I saw a picture of a doctor standing on one side of his patio door and his little baby on the other side, and they're like pressing their hands up against. It's heartbreaking,
That's
to know these
heartbreaking.
things. But I'm hopeful that we will begin to see people, like truly see them, and just say thank you and appreciate them.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
crazy to think too the stories that will come out of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like after this is all said and done, I can't, being in your industry, you got to be I'm sure people are thinking about it, what kind of
Yeah.
movies and TV shows and, are going to come out of this. It's just, I can't even imagine. I, I can't imagine something hasn't already been done, like some sort of reality television show about people
Yeah.
with COVID or something. I don't like Big Brother, but it's COVID-19 or something. I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah.
I hope
I'm
not.
sure
I mean,
something's in the works. I know, I'm kind of torn because I'm like, I don't want to hear another thing about
yeah.
COVID. Like, don't write
Yes.
anything about COVID. Don't write anything where I have to wear a mask. Nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's
it's
true.
kind of like, art reflects life.
Yeah.
So hopefully there is a very nice balance, and everything is not, like, oh, we completely disregard COVID, but not like, all right, put on your mask and scene, so we'll see.
Yeah, that you're right. That is just going to be very interesting. Sports too.
Oh
I
my
mean, just
God.
right across the game. I mean, just across the
Everything.
theaters, right? Just going to see a movie, going to see a play.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just can't. Gosh, this it is
Yeah.
so crazy to think about.
It's a
You
lot.
know.
It's a
Yeah,
lot.
it's too much. Like you said,
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the camp of I need breaks from hearing about all
Hmm.
the news and everything that's going on, and luckily I can take those breaks. At the same time that I'm taking them, I'm thinking, God, I'm so lucky that I even get these breaks. There's probably people just
Yeah.
working tirelessly that don't even get that opportunity.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Well, what about any future projects that you have coming up? I don't know if there's anything you can talk about or want to
Yeah,
talk about.
there's nothing that I've shot that hasn't been released already, which I was so grateful, the- finding the light at the end of the tunnel during this pandemic, that my movies were released when everybody was home, not doing anything, and needing something to watch. So those two films were the last projects. Nope, that's not true. Manhunt Deadly Games, which is on Spectrum, which is kind of tricky. It's such an amazing show. It's an anthology series. So the first season was Manhunt Unabomber, where they focused on the Unabomber, which was on Netflix. I don't think it is right now, or I don't know if it is. And then the second season I played an FBI agent, and it was focused on the bombing that took place during the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta, and the manhunt to find the real bomber. So that was the last project that I shot. That's been released. Again, sorry, that's not true. The last project that I shot was Mixed Dish on ABC.
Oh, yeah.
But that already aired. So what I'm saying is I don't have anything else coming out. I'm going to circle all the way back to the point. There's nothing else coming out. I'm just auditioning right now, and then we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. This is probably a good opportunity to audition for stuff, right?
I'm
sure.
Yeah, for sure. But and even that is still kind of tricky. People have hopes of shooting in August, and I'm like, it's July 17th, and our numbers keep trending upwards.
I mean,
what does that look like to be on set? Like when you get your makeup done, the person is right here in your face doing your makeup or hair, or I know that Crafty is gone. They have the table out with all of the different snacks that you should avoid anyway, but you see some M&Ms there, you're like, I don't want to be disrespectful and not eat these M&Ms. Somebody took the time to put them out. But that has to be done away with. Catering, what is that going to look like? Oh
man, yeah.
No, it's like, all right, we're going to do box lunches, but I've been on sets where they've had some amazing food, and it's like, well, what does that look like now? So we can audition and even book things, but just what that looks like in real life, I think it's kind of going to be a day by day thing that we have to figure out.
Yeah, and I'm sure it'll change and adapt no matter what. However it starts, it probably won't end up that way.
Right.
Just like anything, just trying to figure it out. No, that's crazy. But the series on the Manhunt series, I watched part of that too. Gosh, you play a great FBI agent. That should be something that, you should explore more. I could see you playing that sort of role, just total badass. Just so believable, like just so stern. God, that's so, like where do you, I'm curious for roles like that. I remember, I had my food truck here in Austin for about a year, and Liv Tyler came to my food truck just randomly, just showed up. I'd already given her the food and everything she paid, and someone came and told me that was Liv Tyler. No.
Wow.
I don't think so. I had a cap on, all this stuff. Anyway, come to find out, she was there researching a role for this Lone Star show that's on with Rob Lowe. And anyway, she came to research, right? So to follow a cop around or firefighter, I don't know whatever her thing was to do. So I'm curious, do you do stuff like that as well? Do you like ride-alongs, or what sort of actual research or preparation is there for something like that?
I have not done any kind of ride-along things, but I absolutely do my research. Growing up, I was fortunate enough that my dad was a police officer.
Oh, wow.
He worked his way up to the role of lieutenant before he left. And my dad on the outside, he is very intimidating. You definitely, boys coming over to the house were like, I'm good. It's okay. Like, don't even worry about it. No, it's fine. But
Your dad loved that, I bet. Your dad loved
oh,
that.
absolutely, absolutely. And he has this laugh that just lights up the room, and
That's
he's
awesome.
on the inside is just a teddy bear, but just being able to kind of see him and even talk to him about certain things, going to the gun range and, kind of being familiar with how to shoot, the stance that you're supposed to have. So I was very fortunate in that I had him as an example to not only look up to, but to call and just ask him different questions. And, there is a fine line between the reality of what this profession is and then how they kind of dramatize it. I remember one scene they had in Manhunt where I was supposed to kick the door down. And my dad was like, no, you're not kicking. You wouldn't kick the door down. Like, that just doesn't make sense. And, so that kind of stuff drives him crazy when it's like, you would
Sure.
never, how they do on the shows where, you got the cocaine and then they taste it. And it's
Yeah,
like,
totally.
we don't do that,
We don't do that. Yeah.
We don't
I mean,
do
I knew
that.
one guy that did it, but he don't work there anymore, right?
He's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. Yeah.
So we don't do that. Yeah. But yeah, so I definitely, wherever I can get research from, like I remember I did the West Coast world premiere of a play called Eclipsed. It was written by Danai Gurira, who is on The Walking Dead and was the lead female Black Panther, queen or backup. I'm not sure what they were called, but my character was a part of the rebel army. And so I remember just kind of diving in and researching about these rebel characters. And, sometimes you can go so deep into this stuff that I remember just like, oh my God, I have to take a step back because I'm kind of getting lost in this. And the things that they did, it's sorry if this is too much, but like they would eat the insides of people because they felt like if I eat your heart, then I'm going to get all of the amazing characteristics that you had. And so it's just like, reading that and then seeing these pictures and articles, it was a lot, but it helps you to tap into the mindset of this character and possibly the desperation that this person is feeling to have to go to this rebel army and not, with these other group of people. So the researching aspect, I feel is critical, and being able to talk to people or read people's real life experiences only enhances your performance and your ability to tell the truth in whatever character you're playing.
Yeah, truth. Exactly. Exactly. Just like you said before, it just helps you get to the truth, even though some of that stuff, it seems like you said strong or right or whatever, like that's a lot to think about, but it happened. It's truthful,
it happened.
So yeah, it's they didn't have the fortune to look away, so that's how I think about tough things like that when it's like, oh, that's too much, I can't look at. Hey, some people didn't have a choice, so I don't know that yeah, gosh, that's crazy. Well, look, this has been absolutely amazing, Kelly. Talking to you, I can't tell you. I laugh so much. I just, gosh, and I love laughing, as you can tell. I get that from my mother. My mother has the most boisterous laugh you'd ever. Having dinner with her is the absolute best.
I'm sure.
Oh gosh, it's amazing. We just laugh the whole time. My mom and I, we just try to make each other laugh. Like that's it. That's our whole goal.
And that's how it should be.
Yes.
Laughter is healing for the soul. And, especially now, we need laughter. So I appreciate you allowing me to, being gracious enough to allow me to come back after my faux pas earlier. So I appreciate it. This has definitely been a highlight of my day. So thank you.
That's awesome. Well, that means a lot. Thank you so much again. And I hope, again, I wish you the best with your arm and all the healing with that. And, my best to you and your family during this whole pandemic. Hopefully everything gets back to normal
Right.
soon enough. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Same for you and yours.
thank you. So enjoy the rest of your weekend.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you,
Thank you again.
Patrick.
All right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. I really hope you enjoyed that podcast as much as I did. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to email the podcast at patrick@texasrealfood.com. And don't forget, you can check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, all the different places you can get podcasts. You'll find us on there. Or you can just go to our website. Go to thelone-star-plate.com. And you can check us out on YouTube if you want to watch it. We video these now, on a little webcam here, and go to the Texas Real Food YouTube channel and you can find it there. Make sure to follow Texas Real Food as well on Instagram and Facebook. Subscribe. And if you are so inclined, please leave us a review anywhere you can. Follow us on Spotify or leave a review on Apple Podcast. That would really help us out. Thanks again for listening. Really do appreciate it. Without you guys, what's the point of doing this? So if you have any suggestions on how we can make the show better, please let us know. Thanks again. Be safe out there. Wash your hands.